Occupational therapists and occupational therapy assistants, come a little closer. We need to talk about something important. Now, I'm not sure if you've noticed, but there seems to be a bit of an uprising in our profession. Do you feel it? Or maybe do you feel like there should be? For many years, we've been quietly doing our thing, making a difference, helping people, doing really practical things, and yet we feel really misunderstood and undervalued as a profession. How many innovative models have you seen arise from other professions that reflect basic tenets of the work that we've done for over 100 years? I've noticed when this happens, we kind of get a little fierce inside. We furrow our brows, we complain to our colleagues, we note that this should have been ours. And then we say, oh, well, I guess we should have done more research. I guess we should have been a little bit louder about that thing that just seems to just make sense to us, that seems really practical. And then we go back to doing what's meaningful to us, taking care of our clients. We've been stuffing this for too long, and with the rise in online connection, we are better able to rally together, coordinate our efforts internationally, and get a little loud. I think we need to let a little bit of our fierceness show. Are you with me? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear if you're with me. We know we won't get anywhere by just stomping our feet and screaming, "We did it first!" It won't work. We won't be heard. We need a balanced approach. And after all, balance is what we do. Kristin Neff's new book, Fierce Self-Compassion, has a framework that I think can help us with our rise. So stick around and I'll explain how we are going to create a movement. #OTsRising. And how you can make a difference with both fierce and tender self-compassion in balance. May I tenderly ask you to subscribe by clicking right here in the corner. And if you're inclined, comment and share. We really need more eyes on this to support the movement. That's my fierceness. I'm Carlin. I'm an occupational therapist in Calgary, Canada. I have a local private practice in mental health, and I coach visionary OTs around the world to help them get out of overthinking and on with trailblazing, to find more purpose, authenticity, and fulfillment in the way they live and work. I'm passionate about our profession and have found too many OTs who are frustrated by being undervalued and underestimated in the various environments in which they work, at all levels, right up to the way their services are funded, or should I say defunded. I posted a question on the International OT for OT Facebook group last week, asking what OTs felt we should get a little fierce about in standing up for our profession, and the replies were impassioned and came quickly. Common themes included more research to demonstrate outcomes, being more visible on media outside of the profession, TED Talks, YouTube, non-OT conferences, publications, etc. Renaming always comes with a split vote. Some felt we needed more focus on specialties because our breadth of scope makes the lines a little blurry, and that makes recognition confusing. There were regional differences. For instance, some countries embrace OT and mental health, while others aren't funding OT and mental health. There were many OTs talking about themes of our scope being determined by funders and insurers. Some settings also seem to be splitting people still from the waist. OTs treating things on the top, PTs on the bottom. Oh my, I thought we were done with that. Some OTs shouted that being stuck under a medical model or an illness model is really limiting. Occupational therapy is very effective in prevention, in health promotion, holistic health, and also in working with organizations and not individuals, just to name a few. Some people said in the OT for OT Facebook post that we should focus on advocacy, lobbying, PR, and others said we should focus on having the service users speak up about their experiences with OT. An OT with 40 years of experience in the UK may have summarized it best. She said, "'Twas ever thus." I wish I could say it in her accent. I'm sure it sounds better. "'Twas ever thus, and it will always be thus. We do not work in a glamorous profession. So much of what we do is understated and therefore misunderstood. Other people see what we do and think it easy when we know it's not, because they do not know the depth of knowledge and wisdom that underpins our practice. Pushing ourselves forward and trying to shout louder than anyone else detracts from the essence of what we do." I agree, Catherine. Whatever we do, I think we need to approach it in a balanced way in order to be heard. Balancing yin and yang, still and action, tender and fierce. We know balance. It's a part of all that we do. And this is where Kristin Neff's book, Fierce Self-Compassion, comes in. In the book, Kristin Neff talks about the balance between fierce and tender self-compassion as a uniquely powerful way of effecting change, framed around the need for women specifically to own a little bit of their fierceness in balance with tenderness. I think there are some parallels to be made in standing up to understand our profession. Now again, she's framing this around feminism, and that is fantastic. I love that about it. But think for a moment about this in the context of advocating for our underappreciated profession of OT. She writes, if we're ever going to move beyond male dominance and take our proper place at the tables of power, we need to reclaim our right to be fierce. That's how we'll make a difference in the issues facing our world today: entrenched poverty, systemic racism, a failing healthcare system, and climate change to start. This book is aimed at helping women do just that. She goes on to say, this book is designed to help women tap into our fierce inner warrior so that we can rise up and change our world. Isn't that powerful? I love how she's standing up for women, and her message is clear there. But let's expand. Again, let's expand that concept to OTs of all genders. Fierce self-compassion brings a strength to self-compassion, a caring force. Combining strength and love brings our actions to a more effective level. Think Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela, Susan B. Anthony, and Martin Luther King. In the book, she quotes Martin Luther King as saying, when I speak of love, I am not speaking of some sentimental and weak response. I am speaking of that force, which is the supreme unifying principle of life. Kristin shares a fantastic infographic that explains the two sides, fierce and tender self-compassion, and how they fit together to effect change. Let's explore. Now, first, it's important to note that this image is available for download from Kristin Neff's website, self-compassion.org. You can download it, you can share it. I asked for permission, they're fine with sharing it, as long as you know where you can get it. First thing you notice here is there are these two mama bears. The idea is that we're looking for a balance between both energies for wholeness. On the one side, there's the yin, tender side. That's inner healing, that's tender self-compassion, accepting ourselves to alleviate suffering. And on the other side is fierce self-compassion, taking action to alleviate suffering. Now that's that yang side, outer change. Both the tender and the fierce come together to create a caring force, allowing us to thrive. Now, what does fierce self-compassion look like? See if you can think about ways you might be able to advocate for OT with your fierce self-compassion. Protecting, drawing boundaries and saying no. Providing and saying yes to our needs. Motivating to learn, grow, and change the world. Our authentic self claims both our tender and fierce sides. So did anything come to mind? Anything you'd like to do on small, medium, or big level to advocate for our profession? Feel free to drop any great ideas you've got in the comment box. We'd all benefit from them. So here's the deal. Whatever we do, we need to coordinate and support each other. I'm going to ask you to take action in some way, balancing your tender inward acceptance of our kind, generous OT spirit and the fierceness of protecting, providing, and motivating to make for positive change. I'm not saying what you should do. I'm just saying stand up for our profession in a way that's authentic to you, in a way that's meaningful for you. And then this is where we bring it all together. This is how we create a movement. I want you to share it on any social media platform with hashtag OTsRising. Can you do that? OTsRising. Put it anywhere. I don't care where you put it. And share. Tell others what you're doing, advocating for our profession. Let's create a movement. I'd love to see this happen. So you're welcome to tag me in any of the posts that you'd like. Share it with me, send it to me, whatever you like. I'd love to see how this movement takes shape. I'll put all the places you can tag me and all the platforms down in the description below. I just want to know you did something, even at a local level. I invite you to share this video to inspire others. We're creating a movement after all, so we need to get a little bit loud. And we know we're stronger together. Stronger together, as well as stronger in balance with that tender and fierce self-compassion. Let's do this. If you're not feeling super confident as you rise up to be a little bit fierce, check out this video. Thanks for watching.